For the first time in 19 years, Aidan Moffat and Malcolm Middleton, known as Arab Strap, returned to my hometown of Portsmouth for a gig at the Wedgwood Rooms last month. I was lucky enough to be able to spend an hour with them on the bouncy and squeaky table and benches in what's known as the edge of the Wedge, the smaller of the two stage areas in the Wedge. It's a pretty comprehensive interview covering their entire career, including their early days, gigs and albums, plus their lockdown Arab Strap archive releases, the recent two comeback albums, and how touring and being Arab Strap has changed over the years. The interview also includes a first world exclusive reveal of some exciting Arab Strap news later on, so keep listening out for that. The recording took place prior to doors opening for their gig, whilst their support band was sound checking in the main venue, so you'll hear some background noise, plus the occasional interruption when the staff nipped in and out to top up the bar, but hopefully that won't spoil your listening experience. So here's the first part of my exclusive Arab Strap interview. So, not every day you get to meet and interview your favourite band.
Oh, thank you.
I'll try not to be too fanboy, all right? But
you will.
how are you? How's the tour so far?
It's good. It's far too hot for Scots people. But
yes. There used to be a safety that you'd tour Britain in summer and it'd be cold. Now it's like too hot. It's hotter now than in Portsmouth today than it was in Italy 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's mental.
We're just moaning about the weather because we're Scottish. But the tour's been going okay. We did Arc Tangent Festival yesterday, which was amazing, really.
That was great.
Where's that?
Bristol, outside Bristol, about half an hour from outside Bristol.
Yeah.
It's like a metal festival.
So this is quite a short tour, is it?
Yeah, it was based around the festival yesterday, so we thought, well, whilst we're out, we'll do some gigs in places we haven't played in a while. So and I think Portsmouth was 2006.
I think so.
Yeah,
I've been there a few times. The Wedgwood Rooms back then.
I think you've been down here 6 times.
Six.
I've only been to 5 of them though. I realised that I missed I think it was the Elephant Shoe one.
Was it always in this venue? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Is this all you've ever seen at Portsmouth then? Just this venue?
This
pretty much. Yeah. There's a pub up the road somewhere we used to go to quite a lot every time we came here and played darts. Can't remember what it's called.
Devonshire or the Albert, one of them.
Devonshire sounds familiar.
Like we were saying earlier of thing that's we don't go to the pub before gigs anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
sensible.
Yeah. But afterwards?
No, mostly it's back to the travel lodge with a bottle of wine these days and a quiet chat with a band. It's nowhere near as I wouldn't say fun. It's not. It's still fun, but it's much more subdued, middle-aged fun.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Right. So I've seen you guys. It'll be 13th time tonight. So I've got the stats here.
Oh, right.
So 5 at the Wedge, and I think the last one you did down here, it was the 10 Years of Tears thing when you were. Going on your hiatus.
Yeah.
And I went to the Wedgwood Rooms. I think that was my birthday as well because it was November. Then the Bristol Thekla, which is a fantastic venue, isn't it?
Oh, right.
And then the Scala. So all in the space of a week, like with different friends that I knew in different areas. So that was pretty dedicated. I was gutted that I missed Rockaway Beach. You did it. Was it?
Yeah,
Butlins in Bognor.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go to that.
Yeah, that was January.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me, and then I'll shut up and ask you a few more questions.
Okay.
Right? So, 20 odd years, I've been more than that now, about 25 years I've been listening to you guys. I was a massive fan of John Peel, think of me in my early to mid 20s, still living at my mum and dad's, getting home from the pub. And one night, it's the usual thing, stick a pair of headphones on, see what's on Radio 1, and I hear this different sounding band. With some quite frank lyrics, as we all know, and I just remember thinking this is something different, and it kind of reminded me of a lot of my other favourite bands all mixed into one, because he had like the drum machines of Aphex Twin, he had kind of bass guitar, New Order.
You say that, it was a very cheap, shitty drum machine.
Well, yeah.
I don't think Aphex Twin used presets today.
No. A lot of us
there's no Korg ones. Yeah. But I was hearing guitars at a wedding present, and how would you describe it? Unconventional sounding vocals that sort of reminded me of someone like Mark E. Smith, and I'm like, this is a great combination of sounds. I think that was your live performance at Tea in the Park.
Oh.
So that would have been 98, I think. That'd be my guess.
Right, it's on Spotify. I think it was on the extras and some albums.
It was on Scenes of a Sexual Nature box set.
I think it was. Could be wrong, but I think.
Yeah. No, it's on the Philophobia reissue.
Okay.
That's what it was. It was a double CD of Philophobia, and it was on that.
So I remember getting hold of Philophobia, coming to see that tour here, and just sort of from then onwards, really, being really into you guys.
Interesting about that gig.
Go on in.
We were told it was cancelled because the electricity on the stage so the power went down.
This is Tea in the Park?
This is the Tea in the Park gig that you heard. So we went, we've got the day off, so we'll go and enjoy ourselves.
Okay.
And we enjoyed ourselves as we did at that point. And then about an hour before we were meant to go on, they decided that everything was fixed and the show could go ahead. And I've never played certain members of the band were lying down, playing guitar.
We basically got told the gig's up, so we went and got off our heads, whatever, and then 10 minutes later to remind you, like, they've fixed it, you're back on, and we're like, we managed.
There was quite a few. I think back then it would have been disco biscuits, we called them.
Yeah.
And I spent most of my time. I was pacing round the drum riser, just absolutely high. It was great.
It's hilarious. That was broadcast, and that's when you hear it. I've not listened to it.
I think it was like halfway through. I remember hearing, I think it was Annie Mac saying, "You're listening to Radio 1 and this is Arab Strap." Okay, that's who I need to go and look for in the record shop. Yeah. So
I'm glad that gig impressed you, because
it's good how back then
it was
stuff like that would suddenly appear in the midst of the usual roster and stuff. That you get some kind of weird Scottish band live. So that's amazing that happened.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And you wonder, like, when I would have eventually come across it at some point, but when would that have been had I had not listened to that? So since then, about a year after John Peel passed away, myself and some other people that were big John Peel fans set up this online radio station, Dandelion Radio, named after John's old record label. I've got a squeaky chair, haven't I?
Is that
that's me.
I'm sitting as still as I can.
The reason they got in touch with me, I didn't know any of these guys, was because the last 2 years of John Peel's life, I was on his show pretty much every night, because he'd asked for listeners to contribute offensive content warnings, and me and my family, we all recorded all these piss-takey, things taking the piss out of John Peel. Every night you'd hear, "This is the Morrison family of Portsmouth." And so as a result of that, we got involved with Dandelion, and the idea was that we weren't going to just try to copy what he did, but it was in the spirit of, just new music. So we're all volunteers, we fund it ourselves, we're fully licensed, so we pay all the royalties out of our own pocket, and it's 20 years next year. It's terrible.
Did you say you were doing content mornings?
Yeah, because you remember, like, in the early days, it's BBC Sounds now, but it was about the days, you're talking 2003, 2004, so it's about the days when you could first listen online later, because he used to have so much swearing in a lot of his records. He used to have to warn people.
When our first album came out, he played a song off it called "Phone Me Tonight" with the C word in it, and he played this at like 4:30 on a Saturday afternoon, and when we heard it was going to come on or something, I randomly came across it, and we were like, he's not going to play that, is he? This guy's but he played it, but apparently he never noticed, and no one complained. So
we asked him about that, and he said, I didn't even notice. I think people just didn't understand what I was saying.
Nah, probably not. That's crazy. The connection, of course, John Peel. That was your first ever gig that went out live on John Peel?
Was live on Peel, yeah. Well, it was broadcast the next day, recorded on one night, and then they broadcast the next night.
How was that experience then?
It's weird.
It was kind of, that was all my ambition was back then. It was like, make a record, get a Peel session. That was my one ambition. To get a Peel session.
Those things. But then,
and then that happened.
It wasn't when we started the band. We never had any ideas about playing live. It's just a bedroom band, like kind of making the album. And at the end of the album sessions, we recorded the first weekend because the label said, "Why do you do a single to test the water or something?" I don't know if it was John Peel or Steve Lamacq that played it first.
Peel played it first, but then Lamacq played it every day for
and then there was you guys wanted to do a live gig on the radio, and it's like, okay, but we need to get a band. And then we did really bad punky versions of really slow acoustic songs, and it's funny, that's kind of what we did for a few years and had fun before we straightened ourselves out. And
how did you get the band members then? Where were they from?
There was a punk band in Falkirk called the Cyanide Dolls, and they were the only guys that agreed to play with us.
Well, the drummer Dave, we knew his sister quite well. She was a friend, part of your friend group. So I think it just sort of.
But Paul Savage drove us around Glasgow first. I remember going to different people's houses of various Glasgow bands, and we were knocking on the doors and stuff. A guy called from 18 Wheeler or something.
Oh, right.
Paul had recommended to try and be our backing band, and no one was up for it. And then these guys were like, "Yeah, we'll do it. Give me some beer."
And any of them still in the backing band?
No way.
So it lasted a while
ago.
Yeah. 2001 maybe.
2001. Yeah, we got a new band after
Red Thread.
It was.
Yeah. So how does touring now differ from those early days?
It's funny you say that, because this week's pretty much exactly like that. Because we're kind of doing it in a wee van and travel lodges in the south of England. But it goes up and down, but it's good. We're enjoying it for different reasons. And I'd say the first 5 years were a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say 5. We were
99, so
very
3
messy
years maybe, yeah.
to start with. Like back then with the original band, there was equal a focus on having a good time as having a good gig, whereas now the focus is on just the gig. The good times happen afterwards.
I think we realised we're getting a reputation for sounding bad and drunk live, and I thought that's not really what we want to be doing. So I think we had to put a rule in place, like no drinking before the gig.
And what year was that?
99.
98 or 99. We imposed this rule that no one was allowed to have a drink before the gig, and then me and Mark would go to the pub and let the rest of the band sit back in the dressing room sober.
But yeah,
we were pretty awful for a while.
Do you remember what happened here? Because I've got vague memories.
Which one?
There was one when I had to leave the stage because I made a mistake in a song, and rather than just play on like professionals, Aidan went, whoa, what's that? Start again. And I was like, screw this, I'm away. And I don't know if we came back on or not. Maybe you weren't at that one.
I remember having a fight.
I don't remember that. Yeah.
I remember there was either we've just finished the gig or we came back on after 10 minutes or so. But if you don't remember,
maybe that was the one I didn't go to.
I think it might have been because you remember it, because it ended quite disastrously. Yes.
I just saw that. Remember My Vitriol? I saw them in Portsmouth years ago, and that was a storm off thing, and everyone coming back on looking pretty grumpy. I don't even know why they stormed off. Yeah.
Something in the air in the town.
How's things with the cost of touring and the venues? Because we get a lot less bands like you down in Portsmouth now.
Really?
I mean, back in the day, if a band was releasing their first single or EP, they'd play the Joiners Arms in Southampton. If it was their first album, they'd be here. Second album, Portsmouth Pyramid Centre. Third album, Portsmouth Guildhall. And we're lucky to get anyone sort of on that sort of alternative music circuit down there these days.
I did look at the poster for this venue, and it was mostly covers bands.
It is, yeah.
Disco
I mean, it's a great
nights.
venue.
Yeah, it's
and they've done a load of good bands over the years. Yeah.
It's better than it's been done up recently as well, or something.
The sound system's really good. I think that had a refit. Yeah.
But I mean, it's a very expensive business, especially. I mean, Malcolm and I, or the band as such. I mean, the other guys are session musicians. I mean, they've been with us for years. And they will be for years more. But we need to pay their wages, so it's not like it's not like we're sharing money at the end. So there's a lot of costs involved. And when you go abroad, there's 6 or 7 flights you need to get. I mean, it's harder than it used to be, I think.
Yeah.
But we make it work. I mean, we're quite good at saving money.
We can say no to things as well. Yeah, we're not like a young band and a major label who'll do gigs at a loss. We can't afford to do that. So it's kind of we'll just do things we can afford and work out. And
is it hard work getting over to the EU now for gigs because of what?
No, the taxes are they're a lot stricter. So like we just did a tour in Italy. Italy takes 30% of your fee in tax, which I don't think they did before Brexit happened. And
it's hard in terms that we can't just jump in a van and take our merch with us and stuff.
Yeah, that's the worst. The merchandise is the worst part because that has to go through customs, and if you get caught with a bag of records on the way home, you're going to have to pay tax on it and stuff. So that's the worst part of the whole thing, is not being able to take merch.
But still get out for festivals every summer.
I was going to ask you a bit about the technology, because I mean you've always dabbled with electronics, and particularly the last couple of albums there's a lot more electronics than earlier albums. So how is it reproducing that when you play live? I'm guessing it's not a battered old drum machine anymore.
No, it's the trusty Roland SPD SX that everybody has now, which is sort of drum pad thing. You'll recognise it when you see it. Like every drummer seems to have one now.
Our drummer hates it.
Yeah, he's a technophobe.
I don't get any drummer likes playing along with a click, really, but it's necessary for some songs. And,
so there's some clicks and samples and stuff. Like a lot of the backing tracks, or the rhythm tracks, are all in the SPD now.
Yeah,
they're very much it's literally the same parts that we use on the record. So in the old days we just have to try and emulate it with different shitty old equipment, and then it's precise. I mean, that's the thing with the technology. The stuff that we wanted to do back then we couldn't afford to. Like, I remember once we hired a Roland 808 drum machine, and it was broken, and it cost hundreds of pounds just to hire it, and it didn't work, and we had to record every channel in the same volume, and then just use the mixer as a way to mix the drums. It was really complicated. But now that stuff's practically free. It's just a couple of wee cheap apps you can do these things, and so it's much more accessible to all. In the way it was really hard to like First Big Weekend. We did a remix of First Big Weekend in 2016 when we reformed, and I prefer that version because I like it's got the real drum machine sound that we wanted at the time but couldn't afford. But I suppose that gave it character as well. The Alesis SR16 drum machine is not a disco drum machine in any way, but it was the only one we had. So it's much easier now, and it's all done on laptops and things. So
I guess back in the day there was a nice edge to it. That risk of anything could go wrong at any moment.
It's not gone.
The risk's there definitely, but there was a lot of unreliable drum machines we used to have back then.
So I was going to ask you a little bit about the Bandcamp Arab Strap archive. That kept me very sane during lockdown. Did you always plan to do that, or was that just
as well for the first few months?
Was it?
No, I just gave us something to do during lockdown. I mean, it was a lot of people were doing things like that. We knew we were only going to be playing gigs. It ended up being, was it nearly 2 years no one played or something? It was a long time. And I mean, everybody was just trying to think of ways to make money, like musicians. So it was born of necessity. But I really enjoyed it when we did it, and I'm quite. And like now, we still add to it now, and
Any plans for any of the recent tours to go on there?
There's the next one we're doing. We started doing it on vinyl as well now. So we just did one. We've got it tonight. I'll give you one. Encrypted Valentine's.
We've got that. Yeah.
Have you got it already? Okay. Well, the next one is Philophobia Undressed. Which is a live version of Philophobia that they did just the two of us.
2 years ago.
Yeah, and we recorded that in Glasgow. So that's going to be a double LP.
Sounds nice though. It's like a good record of that tour, which is a nice way to do the old songs. And it's like it says stripped back, but it sounds full. It's like a good recording. And it's a double album. It sounds nice.
It's not an acoustic record. I mean, the first couple are quite quiet. It lulls you into believing it's going to be a gentle record, and then we get a bit noisy towards it. But it's good. I'm really proud of that archive stuff. It's probably the fullest picture of us as a band. Will's live stuff and
you hear how your sound evolved with each tour and each album as well.
I'm proud of everything, but I'm especially proud of that, and it was really fun to do as well. And kept me occupied.
I liked all the different creative album covers and things that were usually just the tickets or the flyers or whatever.
I had fun with that sort of stuff.
It's funny you mentioned like the acoustic stuff, and I had this thought the other week that normally when a band does an acoustic album or acoustic tour, it's a bit of a turn off for me. Really? But I've always enjoyed your acoustic stuff, and I don't know what the difference is, other than maybe it's just more focus on the actual lyrics, perhaps.
I don't know. I've always enjoyed it. We did quite a lot of that, like back in the 90s and early 2000s. We did quite a lot of European tours because we could only afford to go as two people. We did Australia as well. Well, we did that as a three-piece. Like we've always had to do it as a necessity sometimes. So I think we got used to it, and I like those wee intimate gigs as well. I really
it works well. I know what you mean. If someone's saying they're doing an acoustic tour, I'll be like, oh god. But I think with us probably just because the nature of you get close to the lyrics and stuff, and it's stripped back, that it's a different atmosphere in the room. It's one thing having a loud band and singing over the top is a good thing, and there's different emotions and dynamics, but when it's quiet, it's more like hits you more directly. And
more focus on your great guitar work as well, of course.
no, I wasn't meaning that. That is there if you want it.
Yeah, you're in phase 2 now. I think I've read you talking about phase 1, phase 2.
Yeah. Yes.
It was a 16-year gap or something, wasn't it?
10.
Between the records.
Yeah. So let's talk about the last 2 albums, which I love. So like the latest one, I'm totally fine with it. Is that the clean way of saying it?
Yeah. So do we have to be clean for this, by the way?
Nah.
Oh, okay. Well,
No, you can F and Jeff all you like. So that's expanding on the themes of mostly of the perils of the internet and social media. That stuff was hinted at on As Days Get Dark.
Yeah.
How's your relationship with social media and the internet these days then?
I mean, I deleted all my social media posts. I did when Musk bought Twitter and it became X, and then he was using it for all these fucking right-wing conspiracy theories. Like a lot of people, I gave up on it. And it was only ever really Twitter I did. And I bought this special program for my laptop that deletes all your posts.
Okay.
Because I found I was getting attacked by someone. I had just posted something. I mean, it wasn't even a remotely controversial thing. I just think I'd used the word transphobic in it.
Yeah.
And because I'd used that word, I was getting absolutely bombarded by loads and loads of like spam bots and real people, and I noticed people were going through my old tweets and trying to find offensive things that I'd said. It was absolutely insane, just simply because I'd used this trigger word that the algorithm had spotted, and then I was being attacked for it. So I got a program, I can't remember what it was called, but I deleted all my tweets that I'd ever done. There were 40,000 of them. It took 2 entire days to delete the history, and my computer crashed 4 times.
Not that there was anything in there that was offensive to anyone.
No, there was nothing. I was planning to leave anyway because of Musk. You know,
It's a shame because Twitter was like a really good place, especially for musicians and artists, I think, to just get themselves seen and heard. And then within a matter of months, like some guy came and like bought the playground, and then changed it into a building site or something, a dump. So it's really
just a mess now, isn't it?
Yeah. I still engage with it sometimes, like for work. You know, it's nice. It's people get in touch about gigs and stuff.
Yeah.
And we still do that. I'm happy to do that, but any personal stuff, I just don't involve myself in that sort of thing anymore.
All I do on Twitter is like once a month post who's in my show, and that's about it. I don't really read it anymore. Are you on Blue Sky?
I am, but it's really boring.
It's a bit barren, isn't it?
It's just really dull, It's like a fucking Weatherspoons or something, you know, like with a no music policy. You're just like, what's happening here? As you'll have heard on the last record, I think I was quite addicted to social media, and Twitter specifically, and I just had to get over that. And I think it was after listening to the record. Like I was still doing it when we made the record, and then the record came out, and it was when we started to tour it. I was like, I should maybe listen to more advice here.
Yeah.
So then I just sort of stepped away from it. Since I bought a watch, I bought this watch for a couple of reasons. One was I got mugged in London with one of those bike thieves that took my phone off me, and I became really conscious of walking about with my phone in my hand. So I thought I'll get a watch so I can, like, if somebody sends me a message, I'll see it. But after that as well, because I've got this now, I don't look at my phone as much as I used to.
Yeah.
And it's created a nice wee barrier. So like my screen time's about an hour a day or something like that.
What we do as a band, we try and use Instagram more, because before the last album came out, we kind of got a talking to from Rock Action Records, saying you need to get more content and engage with your fans. We're like, really? So we're not very good, but we try and do that a bit more. Just kind of, that's what the most we do.
Yeah.
Nick at the label, she sent me an email saying she sends these emails now and again politely suggesting that we do more social media, and my response is usually, have you heard the last record? I'm out.
Yeah.
But no, we've been trying to do it. I've actually bookmarked a how to use Instagram YouTube video that I'm going to have to learn how to work it.
I've got an account, but I've never used it. So.
I just can't be bothered with it.
It looked like more of the same when I was scrolling, and I don't know.
I think as musicians, it used to be like you send it a physical newsletter, the label would do that. And now it's like you can't just make music and go on tour. You have to. I remember a weird wobbly thing like 10, 15 years ago when I was about to go on tour, and a promoter emailed me saying, "Can you push the gig more on Facebook?" And the first time I'd heard this, it's normal now, but I was like, "Is that not your job?" Like, but then nowadays, as young bands come through, they're like, "Yeah, this is part of what we do." And as older people, we're kind of still a bit uncomfy with it, like having to sell yourself as well, and you kind of do it like sarcastically or ironically, and you still feel uncomfy doing it, but it's part of the thing.
It's like having two jobs, isn't it? You're the promoter and the artist.
Yeah, and
it's the first thing people look at. A lot of promoters now too. They'll look at the social media profile and see how many followers someone has before they book a band. It's it's ridiculous.
So thinking about that second to last album, Turning of Our Bones, that was used on a drama series, wasn't it? It's the theme tune.
Yes,
how did that
on
feel?
ITV right now. I don't know. We've had publishers for years. We don't anymore. We do. We have a deal with BMG, and they what's it called? A distribution admin deal. Yeah. So they do stuff for us, and they take a percentage, but we own all the rights. Whereas before we've had 2 or 3 different publishers, and they never got us a single thing.
Yeah.
And it was like absolutely useless. And then suddenly, when we got all the rights back, we get asked to do these things. They just arrive. I mean, someone must have been a fan. I don't know. I can't even remember.
It's called Karen Perry.
Yeah. I think they were looking specifically for a Scottish band.
Yeah.
Because it's a Scottish detective series, and someone obviously who worked there must have liked us. And then in retrospect, thinking about it, the song is like I knew when they asked us to do it, and we agreed. I knew exactly what bit of the song they were going to use with the lyrics about digging like bones up stuff. It's like, and it makes sense, And you
look at the song in a slightly different light when you realise, actually, it does work well with drama. I mean, the last 2 albums have been a bit more widescreen anyway, haven't they? Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Better produced maybe, and more thought put into the music.
Yeah.
But that's because, talking about technology again, we've got time to both use stuff at home, and there was no dead timeline for these records. So especially as Days Get Dark, it was just take as long as we want to make the music.
We got asked to do something for a film about 10 years before the album came out, and I think that was one of the first times we started doing music again, but we were just going to do it as Middleton and Moffat. It wasn't going to be an Arab Strap thing, but then when we started doing it, we realised it just sounded exactly like Arab Strap, so what was the point? And then we sat on it for years, and then after 2016 decided to make a record. So there's probably some tunes in As Days Get Dark that were very old tunes as well that we'd had for a while.
Next year, it's 30th anniversary, right?
It is, yes.
Any exclusives you can let us know that's going to happen next year? Any plans yet?
It's our 30th anniversary of our first single and first album and first gig. Yeah. So we're going to work on new music. We're writing stuff just now, so there'll be a new album.
He just announced the new album live on the radio.
I mean, we haven't made it yet, so it will happen sometime next year. Yeah. I think we can't just let our 30th anniversary
pass.
Loves
this, an anniversary.
I do. I love a good birthday.
Any plans for another big tour or anything?
We will. We're round about October next year. I think we're going to try and do some gigs and bring back some old songs.
Yeah.
The plan is to do. I've never really been keen on just focusing on old stuff. The Philophobia thing was different. I really enjoyed that, and it's the only time we're ever going to do that. I think I wouldn't do it with another. I wouldn't even think to do it with another album. It's just Philophobia seems to make sense in that song.
It's good to move forward. Like when we came back in 2016, we did all the old songs, and we enjoyed playing live again. That gave us the idea that maybe we should record something else, because it's never a given that we do a record. And then since doing 2 new records, I mean, most of our set is new stuff. There's some old stuff, maybe 40% or something, 30%. But
I enjoy that actually, because I mean the last 2 albums have been so good. I want to hear those songs live,
No, thanks.
And I remember we saw you in Coco in May last year.
Coco was great.
It was fantastic. We were a brilliant spot, right behind the mixing desk, right down on the stage.
Zebra.
Yeah. And my other half heard someone, like when everyone was walking out, or I think when they were waiting for an encore, saying, there's that one big song that they haven't played yet, so they're bound to do that before it finishes. And of course you didn't do first big weekend.
Oh, right.
But I'm like, it's fine, I've heard it loads of times anyway. So
see, before that, since 2016 we did it every single gig.
Yeah.
So then last year year we just stopped because we thought, let's give it a break. But then next year's the anniversary, so who knows.
Yeah.
But it gets to the point where I think we got so sick of it again, but now it's like we're kind of missing it a wee bit.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't know, I don't think we're missing it. I think, I mean, a lot of the people that come to the gigs have only heard us since the last 2 records these days as well. Like,
it does happen.
Even the Philophobia tour, people were coming having no idea about the record because they were responding to the lyrics and like giggling at all the wee racy bits and stuff. Like that song Piglet. Like we used to do that as part of the full band set as well, and people who hadn't heard it before and start laughing when I sing the chorus about I didn't shag him, that sort of stuff. So I think I don't miss first week at the end, but it will make an appearance next year, I'm sure, if I'm going to celebrate its birthday.
We're kind of got a wee thing on because if you look at Spotify, Turning Over Bones is catching up slowly with first week weekend, and we're just waiting for that day. Just passes it and we can be like
What about the solo stuff? Because you're doing a autumn tour, I read, in the Golden Hind boat on London on the Thames. I didn't even know they hosted.
I didn't know either. It's the guy from Owain from Gateshead, Newcastle. And I think he's just started putting gigs on there, so
I wonder what the capacity is in
70.
there. It's just 70. Did you charge like premium for the tickets for that then?
No.
Oh god.
But no, it's just he asked in the same week as a guy in Paris asked, and I've not played for 6 years, so I thought this is a little bit of a poke to get out of the house and do something.
And is that going to be band stuff or acoustic?
It's with a band, so like double bass, piano, and some drums at some of the gigs. It's only 4 gigs, I think.
Yeah. So you both full in strap mode now and not thinking about other solo recording at this point?
To be honest, there's not much point, I think, whilst Arab Strap's active. I've noticed people seem more focused on the Arab Strap stuff, so I've just given up on solo things until we're done for a wee while, I think. I mean, I'll do something again at some point. Maybe I was talking to R.M. Hubbard recently about he had something really wrong with his fingers, so I've been trying to encourage him to play guitar again to get him out of the house, because he never leaves the house as well. So I might try and do that as a sort of care in the community thing. See if I can get him out to do a tour.
So Malcolm, where are your other dates then?
Gateshead, London, Paris, Glasgow.
Nice.
That's it. It's just before the October holidays, so I have to be home for that.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, is there any plans to do a sequel to Music and Words with David Shrigley? Because I don't know if it's the right thing to say, but that's hilarious. I
love that record. I don't know if this would. I think I asked him a few years ago, because we did have about another 8 or 9 songs that we didn't use.
Yeah.
But is that wee thing? They weren't used for a reason, because the quality wasn't as high.
Yeah.
But they're still good songs, I think. But I don't know, maybe someday.
What is it? I raise a dirty glass of nothing, or one of those lines.
See, that gets me in trouble. It's talking about Spotify again. Been like, if you look for me in Spotify, you'll find the Shrigley album, which it's just he wrote all the words for that, and it's just some of it's quite. I wouldn't say offensive. It's funny, but there's been times where, like, my son, when he was in primary 1, had a "What do your parents do?" day at school, where like some of the parents go in and do a talk. And there's like a local fisherman, there was a cleaner, there was an accountant. So I went in, I had to go through my catalogue and see if I had any songs that were suitable for 5-6-year-olds. There was one, Red Travelling Socks, which didn't talk about death or depression. And I sang that and it was fine. Like, my son was like singing backing vocals next to me, and I gave them all a plectrum. And then at the end the teacher said, "Alright kids, go home and get your parents to search for Malcolm Middleton." And I was like, no, don't.
We're all going to die.
One of the first things would be like David Shrigley stuff, or we're all going to die. So. But they had a good time that day. So.
That's awesome. Am I allowed a couple of proper fanboy questions? Right. Okay. So this is proper fanboy, right? I was listening to Radio 6 ages ago, and I thought I heard a different single version of Sociometer Blues. So were you going to release that as a single or something?
There was one that was released as a single, but it got completely ignored.
Really?
And the only difference is it has the sweary words.
The sweary words removed.
That was it. Otherwise, it's exactly.
Was that a single? They call them impact songs now.
Impact date and all that. Yeah.
After the album or before, it's really confusing. What are you doing? Is it online?
Here we go.
It's just been the same.
So these are all the singles. There's Strawberry Moon, All at Once. Bliss. Fox.
See, So Summer wasn't released.
I don't think it got released.
Well, it was, because I did a cover for
I
it.
think you did one, but then this is supposed to be after the album came out, maybe.
Oh,
There you
I had
go.
a really nice cover.
Revelation.
It was a dead bluebird.
Okay.
It was about because it was all about Twitter. It was a really nice cover. Oh shit! I thought that was on there.
My fingerprints all over your body.
Yeah.
Talking about a phone. Yeah. So, well, there you go. It's one for the Bandcamp archive, isn't it? Get it up on there.
Well, we don't own the rights to that one. sadly,
Okay.
so-
Rock Action.
Sure, we could
Yeah.
ask them if you wanted to.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it was exactly the same. It just had to take it out.
So, other fanboy question, right? I've got to get this terminology right. In Drag Queen, right? What was the rom-com by numbers jukebox needle drop classic banger you hadn't heard in years that was all you needed?
I can't remember. I don't know.
no.
I just remember dancing. I would have mentioned it by name if I could remember, but
I'm thinking like, I don't know, Atomic Kitten or something out of like Love Actually or
no,
one of
it
these.
would be more a disco record. I expect. Like,
Yeah.
Just make something up, come on.
I don't know. Let's just say
Yeah, make something.
Donna Summer. There you go. Let's pretend it was Donna Summer.
Okay. You became my favourite band around about the time of Rocket Take Your Turn and Red Thread. And would it be fair to say Red Thread's probably the most shoegazy of your albums? Because that's how it feels to me.
Shoegazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of,
I don't think we've
effects
ever
and
been shoegazy.
I'm not sure. I had to listen to it recently to approve a master.
I think there's a
And,
couple in there.
I don't know. I felt it was quite badly mixed. Do you know what? My favourite song for that period was Rocket, and it was originally on
it's
the album.
brilliant,
Oh no, it was Black Nest. It was on the album. It was Black Nest, wasn't it?
We've got like a CD or something,
Yeah.
master with Black Nest on it.
It was all mastered and ready to go, but then we changed our mind at the last minute, which is a strange thing. I don't know why Chemical indulged that, because they were never. I think because we came back after being on a major label, they were happy to do what we asked. Also, the most expensive record they ever made.
Really?
The original Red Thread cover was that sort of. It had a flap and it folded out and it had a printed inside sleeve and all. Like, it was really, really expensive. And it's getting
People noticed
reissued.
apart from you.
No, people did. I think so. It's getting reissued in a much more manageable version that isn't going to break their
Did they have
bank.
promo CDs with a thread round it? Someone had to tie.
Someone was me, yeah.
Was it you?
The original promo was a CD with actual red wool. It was tied round the disc and then put inside and tied round about it. Yeah.
Have you got personal favourite albums, each of you?
I don't think so.
I haven't done it yet.
Okay.
I remember I really liked As Days Get Dark when we finished it, but then now I think there's a few flawed songs. And then our last album, I've been really happy at the time, and now looking back, it's like, yeah. So I think that's just what happens when you make music. You can.
Yeah.
But I used to always say I liked the second side of Philophobia and the first side of Elephant Shoe. I mean, a good record.
Yeah.
I mean, your relationship changes, as Malcolm says. Like, you put out a record and then you go out and play the songs, and your relationship with the songs change. You get to know them a bit better, and sometimes you get a bit fed up with them quick. So you just need to use your gut instinct with these sort of things. I think it's the archive for me. On Bandcamp, I think is my favourite thing. And on a personal level, there's so much of us, old gigs in there. Like I was listening to one the other day. The song "The Week Never Starts Round Here" that was on Monday at the Hug and Pine that Malcolm sings, I've totally forgot we had this, and it's a live version. And I play the drums on it normally, but I didn't have a drum kit, and I'm just sitting in this radio studio in New York tapping a beat out, and Malcolm's giggling because it's such a ridiculous way to perform, and it's great. Things like that, the wee memories like that, I really, really enjoy.
I don't remember giggling. Are you sure? You don't mean like laughing or?
Well, maybe not. I mean,
try to think about hearing it.
Well, no. I would say it was a light giggle.
Right. Okay, cool.
So thinking back to the early days, 30th anniversary, there was somewhat a bit of uproar from Falkirk when you guys emerged, and there's some samples on some hidden track, isn't there, of people having to go at you? Was that some sort of press conference or something?
He was the provost of Falkirk, like the mayor was interviewed for STV News, Evening News, and that was funny. It was all you couldn't even plan for marketing like that. And it happened the same week or Philophobia came out, And it was the Tuesday, I think, I was walking down Falkirk High Street and I saw two old ladies getting interviewed outside Marks and Spencer's, and I thought, what's that? Then later on saw the 5 o'clock news, and it's like they were getting interviewed about us, and they're just like, never heard of them. Never heard of them, but whatever they're doing, I don't like it. And yeah, it's fun.
I found a press release we did. I forgot this. We had a press agent called John Yates at the time, and after the thing had been in the news, he was getting asked by loads of other people to comment on it, so he did this press release. I can't remember the words exactly, but it was a really short response, and the sort of headed notepaper that basically said, go and write about something important. That was about it. It was quite funny. I was quite
so do you think public perception has changed? Have you been retroactively adopted as local heroes by Falkirk?
No.
I don't know if we have.
No?
We've never been asked back to play. They've got a stadium now where Elton John plays and stuff, and big bands, but yeah.
It's long overdue then, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know someone who had a kid at Falkirk High School, and apparently one of the teachers were talking about people, like famous people who had been to Falkirk High, and I came up and I was really fucking offended at that, because I got expelled from school. The teachers didn't give a fuck about me, and I don't have any qualifications because nobody paid me any attention and looked after me. I hated that school, and now they're claiming that they're responsible in some way for my success.
I had a good moment in my high school. I went to Graham High School, and about 10 years ago, when my son was like 2, they'd someone had been in touch saying, can they get a photo of him and stuff? They're doing a wee display. So I just sent it off in a bio. I was in Falkirk a couple of years later. I was driving past the school and thought I would go in, so I went in with my son and had this big board in the hallway of the reception at the school, and had the alumni, successful, not famous, but had footballer, actor, cello player, but I was right at the top. And that made me laugh as well, because like Hayden said, I didn't finish school well, and there was, at that point, there was no support. I tried to get do music at school, and they told me I wasn't musical enough, and just no guidance or anything. And it was nice to see. I don't know if it's still there now, after 10 years, but it was nice that it kind of did something.
And we were probably about the same age, I'm guessing, and my experience at school, even in Portsmouth, wasn't great. There wasn't much aspiration or encouragement.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the schools today. I've got a 17-year-old son, and my daughter just started high school yesterday as well, and every time I go there and meet the teachers, I'm astonished at how different it is now and how much they care and they focus on children.
Yeah, but the downside of that, I mean, we had something to rebel against. Against people weren't treating us that well. Yeah. Now it's what's the new music going to be like?
So how's it feel now then? I say we're probably about the same generation, to be this age and have had this as your career for all your adult life, I guess.
Still worried about the next year, living hand to mouth.
Yeah.
But I think since we started, it's always been like, is this going to last more than 6 months? So we're kind of still hanging on, I think, but we don't give ourselves much time to reflect and enjoy it. It's more just like I said about making the next record and try do something good.
Yeah.
Also, there's no pension plan in this line of work, so it's quite. We'll probably be doing it till we're 70 odd.
Probably be coming back to the Wedgwood rooms in 20 years.
That's good news for me. So that's brilliant. So I think we'll leave it there, shall we? But listen, guys, it's great to meet you.
Aye, thanks.
I really appreciate you spending this time with me as well.
Oh, no, you're welcome.
Well, enjoy it tonight. Take the time to enjoy it tonight.
Cheers, and thanks for having us.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Cheers.
I need to offer a massive thank you to Malcolm and Aidan of Arab Strap for taking the time to record such a thorough interview with me, and I hope to get the chance to do that again when they next come to Portsmouth. And thanks again to them for meeting up with me and letting me record that interview. Very nice treat for me, and I hope you enjoyed hearing it all.